Hello, my name is Messiah Johnson, and today I will be presenting the Sampoong incident. So, what was the Sampoong incident? Well, essentially, the Sampoong incident was a terrible tragedy that happened in South Korea. It was a mall that collapsed in on itself due to negligence of proper engineering and construction protocols. This was the deadliest structure failure within South Korean history. The construction of the Sampoong department store began in 1987 and was then completed in 1989. Then it was finally opened to the public on July 9, 1990. It received around 40,000 customers a day, and it was located in Seocho-sang district of Seoul, South Korea. Seoul, South Korea is a metropolitan area. Think of New York in these terms. It was very, very highly populated and housed over around 10 million people. The Sampoong department store was built and owned by chairman/founder Lee Jun alongside his son, president/chairman Lee Han-sung. And the developers and the construction companies behind it were the Woo-sung Construction Company and the chairman's own firm, Sampoong Engineering and Construction Co. So these are just some of the before and after photos. If you look to the far left, you can see the building when it was first built, and you can see the beautiful, luxurious pink color. And it was pink because it needed to demonstrate luxury. It needed to be an attraction, so plenty of people would want to come in and buy. Now, if you take a look at the far right, I added these photos so you could see the inside of the mall. And this just goes to show how crowded it easily get with hundreds and thousands of people in the store. And this is the aftermath, showing just how much destruction and damage was caused not only to the building but the surroundings afterwards. So, what exactly caused this event to happen in the first place? Well, the co-founders, father and son, decided to take many, many shortcuts in order to capitalize on income. They decided to ignore warnings, ignore the engineering designs, and decided to take cheap cuts to cut cost. Some of the things that they decided to do were having flat slabs. And this is basically when floors lay on the columns without cross beams. And when this happens, buildings are compromised because they can easily cave in on themselves. They had punching shears, which is basically a term for when floors can't handle the building's weight, and it causes columns to punch up through the floors. Then there was also shortcuts with concrete. Like, instead of using purified water, they used seawater, which corroded the internal steel. And these were only a few of the shortcuts they decided to take. So what exactly was the outcome of this tragedy? Well, it caused the death of over 502 people. This also left a psychological toll on over 600 people that are still to this day suffering. And around 937 people were left maimed, severely injured, and deformed. Until this day, it is a national mourning day. thousands of lives were changed. Lee Jun was convicted of criminal negligence, and he faced over 10 years of imprisonment. And his son Lee Hung-sung, convicted of corruption and accidental homicide, and faced over 7 years of imprisonment. So how can tragedies like this be prevented in the future? Well, everything could have easily been prevented if the original engineering designs were actually followed and withheld. There was a gross amount of negligence that was going on behind the scenes. And unfortunately, this led to a severe stray from the original designs. This also led to a miscalculation which engineers had brought up, but their concerns were upon deaf ears. So, some of the engineering changes that could have prevented it would have been sticking to the original blueprints that had been thoroughly calculated, listening to the engineer's concerns, using pure water, or maintaining the blueprint's weights and sizes. This could have easily prevented everything. So, what did this affect? Well, in South Korea, there's a phrase called nunchi, which translates to eye measure. And this pretty much means, well, read the room. Don't cause any issues or don't cause any ripples or waves. With it being so difficult to enter the workforce in the first place, losing a job is not on the table for everyone. And where it's so cutthroat that even your appearance matters on your resume, people have a fear, they are terrified of speaking up. Well, this incident led to better ways and better protections against those who wish to speak up. And within the engineering and construction companies, there are now better regulations and inspections because they are much stricter on it now. And due to the corruption, there was also a reform in the engineering ethics. And so now it's not perfect, but it is a huge step in the right direction for those who do want to be whistleblowers, for those who do want to speak up, and for those who do want to cause waves. Well, this is the end of my PowerPoint, but thank you for listening.